My name is Sarah Mitchell, and I need to tell you about the night that changed everything. The night I learned that some secrets are better left buried, and some truths arrive exactly when they're meant to. I was 28 years old, standing in that bridal suite at the Riverside Manor, wearing a dress that cost more than my first car. My reflection showed a woman who looked happy, confident, radiant even. Smooth brown skin glowing under soft lighting, dark eyes lined with gold, lips curved in what was supposed to be the smile of a bride on the happiest day of her life. But I had a secret. My new husband, Michael Carter, was downstairs greeting the last of our guests. Michael was everything I thought I wanted. 32, successful architect, charming smile, the kind of man who remembered your coffee order and never forgot an anniversary. We'd been together for 3 years, and everyone said we were perfect together. Everyone was wrong. You see, I'd discovered something 2 weeks before the wedding. Late one night, Michael's phone had buzzed while he was in the shower. I shouldn't have looked. I know that now. But I did. And what I saw shattered the image of the man I thought I knew. Text messages. Dozens of them. To a woman named Jennifer from his office. Messages that went back 8 months. Messages that spoke of secret meetings, stolen moments, words of affection that should have been mine alone. I should have called off the wedding right then. I should have confronted him, walked away, started over. But here's what I haven't told you yet. My mother was sick. Stage 3 cancer, fighting with everything she had. And the only thing she talked about during her treatments was seeing me married. Seeing me settled and happy before whatever came next. So I made a choice. I decided to go through with the wedding, give my mother that moment of joy, and then quietly end the marriage afterward. A clean annulment. No drama. No broken hearts beyond my own. But I also decided on something else. A small, harmless prank for my wedding night. Something to give me back just a tiny bit of control in a situation where I felt powerless. I'd planned to hide under the bed in our honeymoon suite and jump out to surprise him. Childish. Maybe. But it would make me laugh, and I desperately needed to laugh. The reception ended. Guests departed with hugs and well wishes. Michael and I rode the elevator up to our suite, his arm around my waist, whispering sweet words I no longer believed. Once inside, I told him I needed a few minutes to change, to freshen up. He smiled, kissed my forehead, and headed back down to settle the final bill with the venue manager. The moment he left, I kicked off my heels, gathered the layers of my wedding dress, and squeezed myself under that king-size bed. The carpet smelled faintly of lavender cleaning solution. I could hear my own breathing in the quiet room. I checked my watch. 10 minutes, maybe 15, and he'd be back. I waited. Then I heard the door open. Footsteps, but lighter than Michael's. The soft click of heels on hardwood. My heart began to race. I held my breath. More footsteps. 2 people now. I heard the rustle of fabric, a woman's quiet laugh. Then a phone being placed down. The beep of speaker mode activating. A voice I didn't recognize. Female, nervous. I don't know if I should be here, Jennifer. This is Sarah's wedding night, Jennifer. The name hit me like ice water. Another woman's voice. Harder, more confident. She doesn't know anything, Michelle. And honestly, I don't care anymore. Michael made his choice when he married her for her family's money. He and I made our choice months ago. Under that bed, in my wedding dress, I felt my blood turn cold, then freeze completely, because the next voice I heard was my mother's. Jennifer's right, Michelle. Sometimes we do what we must. Sarah's marriage was always about securing her future, making sure she'd be taken care of when I'm gone. Michael understands that. He gets a substantial trust fund, and Sarah gets security. Everyone wins. I couldn't breathe, couldn't think. My mother, my sick, dying mother, who I'd married a man I no longer loved just to make happy, had arranged this? Had been in on this? Michelle's voice again, softer now. But Eleanor, she's your daughter. Doesn't she deserve to know? Deserve real love? My mother, Eleanor Mitchell, sighed. It was a sound I'd heard 1,000 times, usually followed by a lecture about practical decisions and realistic expectations. Love is a luxury, Michelle. Sarah is intelligent, capable, but she's too romantic, too trusting. I've spent her whole life protecting her from her own knave heart. This marriage protects her future. The trust fund matures in 3 years. By then, she'll understand why I did this. Jennifer spoke up. And Michael and I can stop hiding. 3 years isn't forever. I lay there, wedding dress crumpled around me, mascara starting to run as silent tears slipped down my face. Everything I thought I knew had just been torn apart. My marriage was a business arrangement I hadn't agreed to. My mother had orchestrated my entire life. The man I'd caught cheating was actually following some predetermined plan, and I'd been the only one who didn't know. The women talked for a few more minutes, discussing details, timelines, trust funds, and legal arrangements. Then they left, the door clicking softly shut behind them. I stayed under that bed for an hour. Maybe longer, processing, thinking, feeling my heart break, and then, slowly, feeling something else build in its place, determination. When I finally crawled out, I was no longer the naive woman who'd hidden there. I stood, looked at myself in the mirror, wiped away the smudged makeup, and made a decision. I would play their game, but by my rules. Over the next 3 years, I documented everything. Every secret meeting between Michael and Jennifer, every discussion about the trust fund, every piece of evidence that this marriage was a fraud. I hired a private investigator. I consulted with lawyers who specialized in fraud and coercion, and I waited. I also started my own business, a small boutique consulting firm, using skills I'd forgotten I had. I built something that was mine, that nobody had arranged or planned. For me, Mother passed away 18 months after the wedding. Her final words to me were about how happy she was that I was settled and secure. I held her hand and said nothing about what I knew. Some truths are too heavy to burden the dying. When the trust fund matured, I had everything in place. The evidence of conspiracy to commit fraud, the documented infidelity, the recorded conversations I'd gathered over 3 years of careful patience. Michael never saw it coming. Neither did Jennifer. The divorce was swift and brutal. Michael got nothing. The prenup he'd signed, thinking it protected him, actually protected me once fraud was proven. Jennifer lost her job when the recordings surfaced showing she'd participated in the scheme from the beginning. I kept everything. The trust fund, the house, my business, and most importantly, my dignity. But here's the real ending to this story. 6 months after the divorce was final, I met someone. His name was David, a teacher at the community center where I'd started volunteering. He knew nothing about trust funds or arranged marriages. He just knew I made him laugh, and he made me feel safe. We dated for 2 years before I told him the whole story. We were sitting on his tiny apartment balcony, drinking cheap wine and watching the sunset, when I finally shared everything. The wedding night under the bed, the betrayal, the long game I'd played for justice. He listened to all of it. Then he took my hand and said something I'll never forget. You did what you needed to survive. But Sarah, you don't have to survive anymore. You can just live. We got married last spring. Small ceremony, just close friends. No elaborate schemes, no hidden agendas. Just 2 people who chose each other freely, honestly, completely. Sometimes I think about that night. The bride hiding under the bed, about to hear the truth that would demolish her world. I wish I could go back and tell her that the pain wouldn't last forever. That betrayal, even from those we love most, doesn't define us. What defines us is what we do next. I chose to rise, to fight, to reclaim my life. And in the end, I found something better than the fairy tale I thought I wanted. I found the truth. And in that truth, I finally found myself.